Hey guys, Redneck Mini 14 here. So I have a question. Are lever action rifles going out of style? I did a video recently on the 360 Buckhammer and whether or not it was going to die in 5 years because of one reason or another. And in that video, a lot of people commented, and one person commented about the fact that the 360 Buckhammer was a rimmed cartridge, and it's only designed for lever action rifles. It wasn't really designed to be like a semi-automatic cartridge, like the 350 Legend or the 400 Legend or the 450 Bushmaster, and so that was one reason why it was doomed. And this person also suggested that the lever action rifle, just as a whole, is a dying type of rifle. Like, it was a fad, people really liked them for a while, but now they're kind of dying off. And my question is that true? And in my experience, I don't think that that's true at all. And I really hope it's not true. But why do I think it's not true? Well, if you look at today's market, it seems like more companies are out there making lever action rifles, and in larger numbers than they were for many years. Now, maybe they're not as popular as they were back in the 1800s and the early 1900s because there just weren't that many different types of rifles out there. And so lever actions were a very big chunk of the rifles that were being sold on the market back then. Today you got to compete with the AR-15, the AK-47, the M1A, the Mini 14, all these other semi-automatic rifles that are just more popular, generally speaking, than lever actions. But it seems like lever actions have really picked up some steam lately, because Marlin is back in the game, with Ruger producing them. And so, these two are made by Remington, but Marlin is back in the game, and they're definitely making some really high quality rifles compared to the Remington made rifles of the past. And so that's one good thing happening in the lever action world. Henry, like these other two rifles here, Henry makes more lever action rifles than any other manufacturer, just more models, and I think they just produce more lever action rifles than any other manufacturer, which includes Winchester, which is also a fairly new addition, I guess you'd say. Winchester, the American company, kind of died off, and then I don't know exactly when, but they kind of came back as like Japanese and Turkish made guns. I think I'm not sure where all of their guns are made, but I think a lot of their guns are made in Japan, and they're just basically the same gun, just made overseas. And they're very expensive, but they're very good quality rifles. And so I think they're still very popular. But not only that, but you have Smith & Wesson came out with a new lever action rifle this year, and it seems to be a very popular choice among the lever action crowd. And then Aero Precision is coming out with a tactical lever action rifle. And then their sister company, Stag Arms, is basically coming out with the same rifle, but just more of a traditional, and more of a traditional rifle. It looks like this. So, there's a lot of new production lever action rifles coming to the market recently. Rossi came out with a few more recently. They kind of revamped some of the older models that they had, and a lot of these rifles, they're either going to be cloned off of the Marlins or off of the Winchesters. So Henry, they go base their models off of the Marlins. You got Winchester, obviously, and you have like Uberti and Cimarron and Taylor's and Company, all these gun companies that model their lever actions after the Winchesters. So basically you have two different styles of lever action rifle on the market, at least when it comes to centerfires, which is really what we're talking about. but I really like the Marlins. Another reason why I think that lever actions are still very popular today is that there are a lot of banned states out there where it's next to impossible to get an AR-15, and it's definitely impossible for a law-abiding citizen to get an actual AR-15 with all the proper features on it. And so in those states, a lot of people might opt to go with a lever action over a semi-automatic. And so they might go with something like this Henry Big Boy here, or this Marlin 1894 here, because they generally have 10-round capacities, and that's usually what the max capacity in those states are. But you have 10 rounds of 44 Magnum, or in this case over here, 10 rounds of 45 Colt, or you could get 10 rounds of 357 Magnum, and those those are good options for home defense. But these two are more traditional styles of lever action. You could also go with a tactical style of lever action like this Henry X model here. This is a 360 buck hammer, but they also make it in 30-30, 45-70, 410 shock shell, and 357, 44, and 45 Colt. The pistol caliber rounds, or the pistol caliber options for the X model, the big boy X model, those are very compact. I think they're like 17-inch barrel, 7 or 8 round capacity. And of course you have the fiber optic sights on them, fiber optic rear and front. You have a threaded barrel, so you could put a suppressor or a muzzle brake or a flash suppressor, whatever you want on the front there. You got the Picatinny rail down here. You can put a light on there. You got the M-LOK slots. So the Henry X model, that's a good option, and Marlin has their own, which is the Marlin Dark series, I think is what they call them. That's another good option if you want a tactical lever action. The Smith & Wesson, I think it's the 1854. That is kind of a tactical lever action as well, with how it's set up. And there are other more tactical style lever actions out there. Like I said, Aero Precision is going to come out with one, I think, next year. And there are others. And of course, there are also some lever actions out there. I think Henry's going to come out with one that takes AR magazines. And so you can get lever action rifles in 223, 5.56, 300 blackout. I think they're going to have more calibers in the future as well. And there are also other lever actions like the Henry Long Ranger or the Browning, I think it's called the BLR, that are also magazine fed, but they shoot like 308, 6.5 Creedmoor. I'm not sure if they've ever came out with them in long actions like 30-06 or anything like that, but there are options for these other calibers out there, and it's still a lever action. So in my opinion, the lever action is still alive and well, and it's just as popular as it ever has been. In fact, I'd say it's more popular than it's been in a very long time, just throughout history. So is it as popular as a semi-auto like an AR-15 or an AK-47? Well, probably not. Will it ever be? I don't know. It really kind of just depends on, what kind of guns get banned where in the future. Hopefully no more guns ever get banned, but how that works with politicians. But I'd say if AR-15s and AK-47s ever got banned completely, your lever actions would definitely be the next best thing. But I hope it never has to come to that. But with all these new options on the market, and I think that a lot of them are very good quality options. And like I said, the new tactical options like the Henry X model or the Marlin Dark series, I think all these things combined really makes the lever action a very popular choice and a very good choice in today's market, even if it's subpar compared to an AR-15. In fact, I think these guns are just better than an AR-15 just for the fact that they have more powerful calibers, and in certain situations they actually do outperform the AR-15, the 223 5.56, mainly when it comes to a brush gun. You can't exactly use an AR-15 as a brush gun. It's not going to work very well for you. Even like a 30-06, or not 30-06, but a 308, like an AR-10. That's probably not going to be your best choice when it comes to a brush gun. You really want something with a much bigger, heavier bullet. Just has more mass to it to punch through that brush, and that's what, in my opinion, where lever action shine, and that's definitely why a lot of people get a lever action. But anyway, that's just my opinion on that. I don't personally think that lever actions are dying. I think they'll be around for a long time. And the popularity, it may come and go, but as far as I can tell, lever actions are very popular right now. So I don't really know where some people come from with their opinions on certain things. But anyway, that's all I have to say about that.
Hey, before I go, I just thought I'd remind everybody that I do have a second channel called Redneck Off the Range. Over there, I post most of my non-gun related content, so whether it's a video on my new tractor, my power tools, my projects that I'm working on, maybe wild game recipes, or just a random vlog, I post all of this kind of content over on my secondary channel. So if you're interested in that kind of stuff, go check it out, Redneck Off the Range. But that's all for this video, so subscribe to my channel, like me on Facebook. I'm Redneck Mini 14, and until next time, be safe.